Hello everyone, welcome to Zaref Game Dev. In this video, we are going to create the UI for our gameplay. So it's just going to have the end screen and the back button and the diamonds or the apples which are going to be shown on the screen. So we have already created a new scene for the stage 1 and slash 1, and let's set up the scene. So for the main camera, its color is going to be white and the size is going to be 2.7. And after that, let's create a background. Now we'll create the background later. So let's create a UI and let's create image, and which is going to be the back, and let's focus on the image. This is going to be from the top, -64 and -64, uh, 128 by 128, and the sprite is going to be our circle. That is our circle, and its color is going to be black, and we'll need to attach a button component to it. And let's add one more image, which is again going to be our circle. The size is going to be 112 by 112. And finally, let's duplicate this image and attach our black image, which is going to be the black color. And let's set the size to 100 cross 100. So this is our image, and after that we are going to have an image for our level. So it's going to be from the top left, 96 and -24. So let's first set up the size first. So 56 by 96, 96 and -24. And for the image, we are going to use our stage background image, and we'll set it to be sliced, and the color, it's going to be our black color. And on this image we are going to attach a text. Let's just call it count, and for now let's have it 1 1. Position to the center, let's make it bold, and this position, it's going to be at +16 and -16. Let's just have it at +16. Let's change the font. Yeah, -6, -8. Let's change the font size to 64, and colors already white, and 2 to 4. Yeah, that's it. And after that, again we are going to create the diamonds, so which is going to be an empty, and we'll call it diamonds holder. And the diamonds holder is positioned from the top at -80, and its width is going to be 1920, and the height, let's set it as 128, on which we are going to attach a horizontal layout group component, which spacing, child for the expand doesn't matter, child alignment, middle center. And let's set up the spacing. I think let's have the spacing attach it normally. And let's create the UI image, and we'll have the image as apple 0. The size, it's already 100 by 100, so there's no need to change much. And let's set it to 2. And finally this one to 3. And currently they are 128, so now it looks good enough. And we are going to change its settings afterwards, so it doesn't matter. And finally we are going to have our end panel, which is going to be again empty, and it's going to be shown when the game finishes. So first it's going to have a text which is going to say congratulations. So let's create a text. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. 128 wide, centered. Increase the size to 1080 by 50. And position from the center is going to be at 320, and currently it's not looking good right now. Let's change the text, and we'll need a background which is going to be inside our whole scene. So our canvas is also always going to be on the top, so sort order is going to be 2, and inside our bg let's add our bg, which is going to be tiled, and the size is going to be 48 cross 40. So now it looks good enough, and we'll just call it. And depending on different backgrounds, there's no need for depending, we are manually adding it, so we can set it how I like. So this is our congratulations, and after that we are going to, let's create the button first. So let's create a UI, an image, and which is going to be called next, and the image is going to be positioned at negative 384, and its size is going to be 384 by 128. The image is going to be our button image, the color is going to be our black color, and it's going to have a button component attached. And I think let's also add the animator component, and let's move up, and which is going to have our button animation attached. And on this we are going to attach a text, which let's just call it text, which is going to say next. Align it to the center, change the size to 64, and the font to different. Text, there's a problem. Next. Hmm. Can't delete it. Now can delete, but Next. There's no X. Delete this. Let's share the XT. Yeah, so the small letter X is not there. We already made it bold. Let's set the character. So this is our button, and before this button we are going to have one more image. So let's create UI image, and let's call it score, and its size it's going to be 640 by 384. Let's set our image to be our stage background image, and let's set its color to black. and it's going to have first our perfect, which is going to be on the top. So let's create a UI image, arrange from the top 0, and the image is going to be your diamond. Let's make it black, blue, red, orange, doesn't matter. 128 by 1. So this is going to be our image, and after the in this image we are going to have a diamond solder. Let's just copy our diamond solder and let's paste child, and let's position it at 0 0 from the center 0, and for the inner element size let's set it to 80 by 80, spacing to 32 plus 32, and its position, let's set its do we change its position? Let's set it at -80. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Let's set it at just 0, and change size to by 128. We'll need to position a little bit higher, and let's add a text which is going to be the number of retries. Retry 0. Let's make it bold, size 64, change the font to line to the center, and size, let's have it fit the whole screen, make it center. Let's make it 128, and going to be at -120. So this is just going to be our end screen, how it's going to look. And after creating our end screen, we'll need to create a what just happened. So we have all our buttons created. Next step, our canvas, and whenever we want to create a scene, we'll just duplicate this scene so the UI is similar, and we'll create a prefab for our game manager, and which is going to be stored inside our prefabs, and we'll need to create a new folder for it. So they need to be felt assets, stages, and UI. Prefabs. I is just there too. Something happened to my original script. I don't know what happened. Assets, prefabs, UI, and okay, so I'm inside my Unity one. So let's me go inside creations, assets, and prefabs. We'll need one for the items, which is going to include the player and the game manager. So let's first create a folder for the items, then we'll have for the obstacles, and finally no more will be needed, and add our resources. we are going to have nothing else but inside our scripts are also done. So this is just going to be how our basic UI is going to look, and our game manager is also going to be stored as a prefab. Attach a game manager script to it, which we have not created. So let's create a game manager script in our game manager. And we'll attach our game manager script. So it stopped working. Now let's add a component. So that is our game manager, and this I don't think we'll need to say everything as a prefab, but we'll just, and inside our canvas, instead of screen space overlay, we'll set it to its camera, which is going to scale with screen size 1920 by 1080, and it's going to match our, and that should be it for our UI. Let's create an empty for our obstacles. And then we'll need to create our player and the script. So in the next video, we'll create the default template for the obstacle, and we'll also create our player. So in the first scene, there are just 3 boxes on which the player is going to jump and collect. So we'll create the player in the next script. Yeah, we'll create the player. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video.